UFC 317 was an absolute banger. Shout out to Ilia Topuria. We're going to get this out the way right now. He is the best mixed martial artist that I have ever seen fight. He's number one fighter in the UFC, regardless of what anyone says. Now we're going to dive deeper into this fight. Just want to say what's up to you all first. I know you all have not seen my face on camera in a while. I'm a new dad now, so I'm extremely busy, but I promise I will be uploading more consistently now, especially since things in the UFC are so exciting. So Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveria. Now I've been saying since the beginning of last year that Ilia Topuria was the best fighter in the UFC, and one of the things I credited that to was his boxing ability. I have those videos still on the channel. You can check them out. But also, what makes his boxing even better is that he's an amazing grappler. And we got to see a little bit of his grappling yesterday because the fight ended in the first round. So it's not like we got to see a lot. There was, an exchange where Charles grabbed him. Ilia was able to reverse the takedown. He was on top of Charles. He got side control. Almost got that crucifix, which would have been crazy. But we know Charles Oliveira is very good at grappling. And Ilia Topuria gets up. Charles Oliveira grabs his leg, but Ilia is able to escape and then get up to his feet. And then he just waits for Charles to get up. And then he hits him with that combo, the 2-3, lights out. Now, what set that combo up? Ilia's jab. Ilia is able to change levels, which you don't see a lot of guys in MMA able to change levels when they're boxing because they're doing what I like to call striking. That's why they have striking coaches, not boxing coaches. Now, the reason why Ilia Topuria is the evolution of MMA is because something he said on Joe Rogan. He doesn't do MMA classes when he's not in fight camp. He does boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu all separately. So he's becoming a master in all of the martial arts. So he's going to be able to beat you however he decides to beat you. So when he's talking before these fights, a lot of people are saying it's arrogant, but he knows that he's putting in work that his opponents are not putting in. They're not working harder than him, so there's no way that they can beat him. So when you see him in the octagon and he's just confident, cool, calm, and collected, which is I still don't understand it, but when he says like because of how hard I train, then it makes sense. Now back to like how he just broke Charles Oliveira down in such a short amount of time. Like nobody has just destroyed Charles Oliveira like this that fast. Like I said, he set up things off the jab. And at one point, Charles, like at the very beginning of the fight, Charles did catch him with a right hand to the face. Looked like it was to the chin, but Ilya didn't even budge. So I'm like, oh yeah, this this fight is about to be over. Of course, for the folks in here who gamble, if you were smart, you would have bet the Topuria KO. He had been saying all leading up to the fight, I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. And when Ilya says something, he's going to deliver. Now, he said that against Volk. He didn't knock him out in the first round, but he knocked him out. So to be safe, just bet the Topuria KO if he says he's going to KO somebody. But yeah, he set the jab up. He was jabbing to the head. Then he did, once he got up from the scramble on the ground, once he got his leg out and the ref made Charles Oliveira get back up, Topuria started jabs to the head. He took a jab down to the body. Now, anybody that boxes knows that that jab down to the body is going to start making your opponent drop his hands just a little bit because now he has to worry about protecting that body as well because nobody likes to get stabbed jabs to the body. So what this does is it just opens up the head just enough for Ilya to land that two over the top of Oliveira's left hand. And the two, he was already out. That was a perfect shot. And then Ilya followed that up with a three. So he hit him with a 2-3. Oliveira's on the ground. Hammer fist. Good night. Now, I don't see anybody in the UFC, especially at Topuria just moved up to 155. Yeah, he's not the biggest guy there, but the strength that he took up with him from 145 to 155 is insane because of how fast he put Oliveira out. Like he was like lights out, and Ilia Topuria likes Charles Oliveira. So imagine what he's gonna do to a fighter that he doesn't like, aka Paddy Pimblett. Which I don't know if we're gonna get that fight next. There's bad blood there. They had an exchange, but he fights Paddy Pimblett. I think he submits him. Why do I think that? Because Ilia Topuria has said that he's going to submit Paddy Pimblett. So whatever he says, that's what he's going to do. So let's just take a look at Topuria's resume a little bit so far. He's 17-0 now. Now he has 7 wins by knockout, 8 wins by submission. 8 of them by submission. So not a lot of people realize that he has more submissions than knockouts. More recently, he's been getting knockouts, which is scary for the UFC because his boxing is getting better and better and better. But if he decides that he wants to submit you, then yeah, he'll do just that. And then another stat that is crazy that I did not realize until after the fight when I was looking online, he has 9 first round finishes. 9 first round finishes. So I don't even know. I mean, outside of Josh Emmett, I'm trying to think of off the top of my head, like who took Ilia into deep waters. And by deep waters, I don't mean like he was in trouble or anything. I just mean like who took him later in a fight. And Josh Emmett, off the top of my head, is all I can think of. John Herbert, I can't remember when he knocked him out. It just stands out to me because John Herbert landed the head kick on Ilia, but I think it was a second round Ilia got him out there. I'm not sure, but guys can't even take him to deep waters because he's that good. And guess what? He's only getting better. Like his confidence is nothing that he needs to work on. He already has supreme confidence, and he has a secret weapon that I think a lot of people are starting to realize now. It's his brother. He trains with his brother, who is also an amazing MMA fighter. So he has this in house. He has his gym in house. I just did a video on this. You can check it out on my channel. So everything that he needs, he has. He doesn't take any shortcuts. And if you have someone that's taking, MMA classes, which makes sense because you're fighting in the UFC, you're fighting mixed martial arts, but then you're taking someone that's training each martial art by itself. I'm going to take the guy that's becoming proficient in each specific martial art. Because let's take the Jai Herbert head kick for example. He got kicked to the head. Now, if all Ilia had was striking, then that fight would have been over. But he was able to grab Jai Herbert because of his grappling ability, get his faculties back in order, and then get the fight back standing. But if he wasn't able to grapple with him and hold him, then we may be looking at a different fight. So when Ilia says it, he's like, this is a new age of mixed martial arts. So he's knocking out legends. He's not just doing like tune up fights or anything. He's going right to fight the best guys at each division. And the only fight that I think would be a good fight, and I still think Ilia wins, is Islam. Honestly, because Paddy Pimblett destroys him. Arman, he destroys him. I don't think any of these guys come close to Ilia Topuria. And Islam, like I'm a huge fan of Islam. So I I don't know. I just don't know how Islam, because Islam's going to get hit. He's going to get hit. Now the thing is, like if the fight is at 170, that's a lot of weight. Islam is a big guy, but like if they get on the ground, like Islam has to keep Topuria there, and I don't think he can do that because, like I said, Topuria, his base is Greco-Roman wrestling. He was the first Georgian to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So wrestling and Jiu-Jitsu is his what he's known for before he started the boxing. The boxing is like more recent, and he's becoming better and better at that. Like he emulates his boxing ability off of Canelo Alvarez. So he has the head movement. Yeah, he's gonna take a shot here and there, but he has a big neck, so his chin is strong. He doesn't have like a small neck or anything where he's at risk of just getting knocked out. Now he is susceptible to the head kick, some people like to say, but that's landed one time on him and dropped him. So I don't think that's necessarily a weakness. I just don't know like what Islam can do once the fight is standing, because it has to start off standing, and then if it goes to the ground, you're still at risk of him submitting you. And I don't even think we've seen the best grappling that Topuria can do yet, because he hasn't had to. He hasn't been in deep waters. So, that's my take on the whole situation. I think that these MMA guys definitely have to start doing more boxing versus striking, because we're seeing boxing make a huge impact, like fighters like Joshua Van, things like that. That boxing ability to stand up is very dangerous. So some people are gonna say, well, wrestling is still king and all that. Hey, I'm not saying anything against wrestling. Like I said, Taporia, that's his background. So he has that base. So guys have to worry about the takedown. So them worrying about being taken down, maybe that opens them up some up top. But you can't be a jack of all trades against Taporia. You can't be a jack of all trades and master of none. You have to be a master of all to even compete with this guy. And there's no one right now in the UFC that I know is a master of all outside of Toporia's brother, who I think is going to be making a huge name for himself soon. It's like very low key. He's still new to the UFC, but I think these guys are about to be the next generation of UFC fighters. So let me know down below who you would like to see Ilia Topuria fight next. Also, do you think that he is the best fighter in the UFC? If not, who is better than Ilia Topuria right now? But hey, I'm excited for what's to come for the UFC. This is like, it's got me hyped, so hyped that I had to get back on camera. Like I said, I'll be showing my face a lot more to you all. All right, I'll catch you on the next video. Like that video, subscribe, share the video. Catch you on the next one. Peace.